Washington, Tukeo goes on.
District's 78,000 school students. They're putting their books aside until the first term next year, and the school doors generally will close. And in that regard, today will mark the end for one of Newcastle's most historic schools, the Newcastle Hill High School. One man who has expected, I imagine, has very special feelings about this is Mr. Tom McCormick, who taught at that school and for quite a long time, and who's there just at this time when it's finally closing. Mr. McCormick is on the line with me now. Mr. McCormick, you actually are a retired school teacher, aren't you?
Yes, that is so, Matt. Around about March in 1971, I retired from this school after being here for just over 24 years.
24 years. Well, that was a long term, wasn't it?
My very word.
What brings you back here and has brought you back in the last
Well,
couple of years?
It's rather sad in a way. I'm replacing Mr. Morani, who is a menial arts master here. He unfortunately had to go to hospital.
I see.
And I'm taking over his duties for the last fortnight of the school. But at the same time, I feel a little happy in one respect that after a long association with the school, I can be here when it's finally closing its doors.
Indeed. Well, it's been, it's been a great school, hasn't it? It's as far as I can learn, it actually opened around about in 1870, which means that it's something like 103 years old.
Yeah, well, actually, it was on the 9th of November 1878 by Mr. Clarence Hannell at 12 noon, Matt.
Was it? Well, that's a good piece of information.
And it ceased to be a high school in 1933.
Yes.
Became Newcastle Junior High School in 34.
That's right, of course, when they transferred, and the high school transferred to Waratah.
That's right, high school there, and of course girls' high school at National Park.
Yeah. Well, now, Tom, I know from personal knowledge, because I happened to go to Boys High in 35 and started there.
Yes.
My own secondary school education. I know there was a great deal of sentiment at that time and rather a lot of nostalgia amongst the old boys of the school on the hill at that time, when they left to go out to Waratah, even though it was a lovely new school.
Yes.
What's the feeling among the boys who are there now, who are seeing the school close after this very, very long time?
Well, there's myself, of course, for 24 years. I'm a little bit sad at it. Then there's Mr. Goff, he's been here for 18 years.
Yes.
Mr. Murray Davies for 13, and Mr. Les Hunter for 8 continuous. Well, Mr. Hunter was the first teacher that I spoke to in 1947 when I first came up here.
Was he? Yes.
And they're rather sad at the whole caboodle.
I can imagine. So what about among the students themselves? Do they have, is the attachment to the school quite strong?
Well, it seems to be that way, Matt, and I might recall here, when Mortimer Perdue was Lord Mayor, he used to come up here, of course, for certain different important occasions.
Yes.
And this is one of the things that he always said. It didn't matter how you came to this school, you came uphill. But he said when you got to the top, the view was so rewarding that it was well worth the effort. And I feel that's the way that a lot of boys look at this particular scene today.
I would think so, because it's a lovely situation, even though the climb up the hill can be a bit trying at times. But I remember this is commemorated still in the Boys High School song, isn't it?
That's right.
That's right.
We had one teacher here at one time, a casual. He used to walk up Wall Street. He reckoned that on Monday it was about between 40 and 45 degrees, but he reckoned by the time Friday came it was that close to 90 degrees it didn't matter.
I can just imagine too. I suppose what would you say have been some of the the real highlights in the career of the old school?
Well, I think the one that sticks out most in my mind, Matt, is the swimming carnival that was held at a night carnival in 1950. Now, this is the only night carnival that I can recall. And from then on, we had the championships of the schools for 10 to 12 years on.
Is that so? Yes.
Mr. Harry Pence was the sportsmaster in those days, and he was ably assisted by Les Hunter, Frank Symes, and John Byrne. Now, they used to take the boys swimming 3 times a week.
Yes.
So you can see that practice does make perfect.
My word, it does, doesn't it? Yep. Of course, I remember too that the school shone rather unusually at one time in Australian rules, didn't it?
That's true. I'm coming to that, Matt, if I've got a little bit of your time.
Yes, indeed.
First of all, in 1963, 2 main things stuck out in the school. A special effort was made to install a grand piano. That was in 1963. And incidentally, the grand piano will go to the new school.
Good.
And this is also the year that the school, Australia won the major and minor premiership in Australian rules football. How about that?
Now, what area did this competition embrace?
This embraced Newcastle only. It was only 4 schools, I think, at that time. Newcastle Boys High, Tech High, Broadmeadow. It was central in those days, of course, and our own school.
And it won both grades?
Yes.
They're tremendous. Yeah.
Now, also, going back to 1953, Les Anderson, who was a pupil at this school, was successful enough at the All-States Australian Rules Carnival in Adelaide of being given the award of the gold medal for the best and fairest player at the carnival.
Tremendous.
One of my happiest recollections.
I can well imagine this too.
Yes.
Yep. The pupils, Tom, from the school, they are going where?
They are going to Lambton High School.
Yes.
And they will commence over there, of course, at the first term next year. Now, you've also got something else here, Matt. The beach inspectors at Newcastle Beaches, I think all of them are ex-pupils of this school. And they came out of more or less those swimming carnival days.
Yes, yes.
Lee Lawrence,
Yes.
Warren and Jeff Sargent, and Wally Burley out at Redhead, I believe.
Well, that's quite a record too, isn't it? I mentioned too, Tom, that probably among some of our most distinguished citizens in our city and in our district would be people now who went to the old school, particularly who were there even before and while it was the old Boys High.
Boys High, that's right. The only one that I can recall at the present time, Matt, is Mabel Wiley.
Mabel Wiley, yes?
She has retired.
Yes.
But she just retired from, I think it was Wickham. And
Yes.
she's been in Newcastle Girls High. In fact, she's been people everywhere around the district.
Yes.
And she's living in retirement at the present time. But the other important feature, I think, of the school was the father and son dinner, which was instigated by Mr. Richardson, who is now, of course, over at Boys High School.
Yes, Tom Richardson, yes.
And now this went on for 14 years. And that was instigated by Mr. Richardson and Mr. Kevin Goff of this school.
Yes, yes.
That's been carried on for 14 years, Matt.
Tom, is there going to be any sort of special ceremony today at all to mark the end of Newcastle Hill High?
No, we're just going to have our usual little get-together this afternoon, and I should imagine there'll be quite a lot of reminiscing going on down there.
I can well imagine, and Tom, I'll turn down a glass this afternoon myself in memory of the old school.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you for joining us on our program.
The last thing I might mention is that in the guessing competition, which was instigated on this father and son night, Mr. Goff raised approximately $12,000 in that length of period of 15 years, Matt.
$12,000. That's a tremendous sum. This went to.
That's right. That's quite a lot of money, isn't it?
It is indeed. This went to school equipment and that sort of
right. Yes, and money towards the grand piano.
Yeah. Anyway, Tom, thanks for joining us on our program. I know that everyone who's listening to it wishes you all the very best in your retirement, and also sends all the very best wishes to the staff of Newcastle Hill High, and our best wishes too to the students who'll be going to a new school early next year.
Thank you very much, Matt. I'll convey that to you.
Thank you very much.
From you. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
That was Mr. Tom McCormick, who was for almost 25 years a teacher at Newcastle Hill High, which ends its history as a high school and as a school today.
Your yacht has sunk, your shrink is shrunk, your checkbook's over